Alright, yo, what are you saying, people? If you know me, you know my form of training is calisthenics, which means it's purely bodyweight training, no weights. With that, the handstand is a very fundamental skill because it works multiple muscle groups, including your shoulders, your core, your back, and also your wrists, whilst also like generally just working on your stabilization muscles and your ability to just stabilize your body. So with that, it's a skill that I want to learn, putting the challenge on myself to do so, right? In all honesty, I have been training it before, so I have actually been practicing the handstand for a couple of months, but I adopted bad habits, and although I could hold the handstand for a long period of time, I was doing it like, I was looking at some footage, right, and I was looking at my back, and it was bent, bruv. I was like, what? Why is my back bent? And then it made sense because every time I was training, right, I was getting a lot of back pains, which made my handstand practice really inconsistent. I'm a firm believer on good technique and form, so with that, I'm challenging myself to go back to the basics, and I'm gonna relearn the handstand because I'm not happy with the way I have it, and I think it can be somewhat educational to people as well. And I'm going to go back from the start and learn all the steps until I can finally do a proper handstand with good technique. If you look on YouTube, yeah, all these videos, everybody shows all these different ways, but I've watched all of them and I'm compressing the information, and I'm just like, I'm going to do the things that I did to get my handstand to where it was, but I'm going to go from the start and remove the bad habits. You get what I'm saying? By the end of this video, you'll see me doing the handstand and you'll see how I did it. Hopefully that will inspire you to do the same. It's a progressive thing. It's not going to happen in one day. It might take me a month. It might take me a week. It might take me a year. Who knows? But regardless of the time, I'm going to do it at the end of the day. So let's go. Alright, yo, so first things first, to learn a handstand, you're going to need to have the strength to do so. If you don't have the physical strength to like hold your body weight up or do push-ups, you're not going to be able to do a handstand. I think one of the most overlooked aspects of learning the handstand is your wrist strength specifically, because a lot of the pressure is on your wrist when you're doing a handstand. Quite frequently I would hurt my wrist a lot trying to learn the handstand because I didn't have the wrist strength and flexibility to do so. So I'm gonna run through some exercises to work on that, because I think it's definitely the most overlooked aspect of the handstand. So which is why I want to work through it first, because look at my wrist, man. I got twig wrists as well. Like, I'm not a chopstick, but my wrists are pretty skinny, and that was like a big challenge for me, is not injuring myself. So yeah, I'm gonna just run through it now. Let's do it. Bye. I recommend you do this every session. Even if it's not every session, if your wrists are really weak or you lack the flexibility, I recommend doing it every day. I've been doing this, but still before every single session I always warm up my wrist, because that exercise there, just doing that alone, I noticed the difference between like my control on the handstands, and I didn't get injured as much, because whenever I didn't do it, I'd injure my wrist. I'm going to continue to do that before every session, so that's like a progressive step. That step stays with the whole thing. Now we're going to move on to building the shoulder strength. There's this one exercise in particular which definitely helped me build my strength, which I'm going to repeat again, just like, you know, for video's sake and for progression's sake. And it's actually the pike push-up. If you know what a pike push-up is, you know it's like I'll demonstrate it. Like, handstand aside, this is a sick workout for your shoulders. Like, if you just do a couple sets of these, mate, you're gonna feel it in your shoulders. Second set, let's go. When I was first ever doing the pike push-ups, bro, I could barely even do 3. Now I can probably get like 10 to 15 nice clean reps, and I think once you get to that stage, like for the first goal is definitely get to 10 to 15, which, you know, by example I just did. So I feel like that grants me access, like I've upgraded to the next level. Like, now it's like, okay, cool, now I've got the strength, I can actually think about starting to perform the handstand, which is what I'm going to get into next. So step 2 is complete. Got the wrist strength unlocked, got the shoulder strength unlocked. Next is we're gonna start getting into more the technicality of the handstand and building some of the stability strength stuff, you know. But yeah, let's get into it, man. This is a step that I actually haven't tried before, but it's called like I think it's called the frog pose, right? Frog pose, which is like it's a progression to the handstand. So it's like imitating the balance of a handstand, but you're not putting your legs in the air. Your body, your weight is closer together, so it's easier to hold the balance, but it's good for your muscle memory to like understand how the handstand works. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a try. I think if I can hold it for at least 15 to 20 seconds, I would say that it's complete and we can move on to the next thing. But that was decent. That was pretty decent for the first time trying it. That's actually good, you know, because you get used to the finger grips. I just watched it back. That looks weird as hell. Like the position looks weird, but trust me, it does work. Like I can see it being a very useful thing, because when you're doing it, I can feel the way my fingers need to push if I'm going too far forward, or I need to like ease on the fingertip pushing when I want to go back. So it's like this is definitely a good skill to practice for balance wise. So I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna do it on a carpet just in case I do flop. I don't want to slap my face on the concrete. So yeah. Oh yeah, I could hold it, but my knees are digging into my elbows. That shit hurts, man. No way, I can't. I think that's successful. I'm gonna take that. Yo, that's a lot harder than you think. Like elbows as well. Taking it, man. Taking it. But yeah, cool. I can get it off the checklist, man. Frog position done. So we've done the wrists, we've done the shoulder strength. Frog pose for control and stability. And then now we're gonna move on to handstands against the wall, so that I can practice practice being comfortable in the handstand position and tweak my form using the wall as a form of support, because obviously just trying to do it freestyle, it won't always work. You gotta use the wall for guidance and to make sure that I'm getting straight as. So I'm out of breath, you know. That actually did take my breath away a bit, but yeah. Alright, cool, let's go. There's two different variations of the handstand to the wall hold, and they're both very important because they teach you different things, right? And this is where I went wrong, because I was predominantly training one and not the other. So the two are, you have back to wall and then you have chest to wall, and they're both good for different reasons. Because having your back to the wall, that's where you're going to practice getting your kick up, getting familiar with kicking up into the position, and then the chest to wall will help with alignment. And that's where my back was curving, because I didn't do the chest to wall hold, which messed up my alignment. Because when you're doing back to wall, you can your feet bend, and obviously with muscle memory, that's where I learned, okay, my back bends when I do the handstand, when that's not the case. With the handstand, you want to be as straight as possible. And also, I don't want to hear any excuses about, oh, I don't have the equipment, you can do this anywhere. I'm doing it in my room. Every exercise that I've done can be done in the comfort of your own home. So I don't want to hear any excuses about gym membership, this and that, No. Okay, with that being said, I've been practicing every day, even if it's just for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'll just prop myself up against the wall, and I've been practicing both the chest and back to the wall. When I'm doing it, I'm focusing on aligning my back and using my core to keep myself straight, whilst also trying to tense my legs, because obviously my issue came from the curvature. So I've been really trying to focus on using my core to make sure that I'm aligned when I'm doing the handstand. I also, as a little progression for the handstand wall hold, I also gently push my feet off the wall so that I'm freestanding, and in this way I'm practicing my finger grip on the floor and also working on my balance whilst using the wall as a form of support, because you won't just fall over. Instead of tipping over, your feet will hit the wall, and then you can just keep holding it for a longer period of time, as opposed to if you just tried to practice off the bat, you'd go up to do the handstand and then you just keep flipping over, which is what I've done, and which is what I'll have to do moving forward. But yeah, just practicing against the wall and just trying to keep my balance for as long as possible has definitely been helping, and I reckon now I'm ready to move on to just doing the handstand freestanding. So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to see how this is going to turn out. Hopefully I can get the handstand on point. Let's do it. Okay, so now that we're on the final step of the handstand, which is simply just attempting it freestand. This part here seems simple, but I reckon it's going to take the longest, because it's just going to come through consistency and trial and error. I'm going to keep practicing it every day until I can consistently hold it for at least 10 to 15 seconds. I'm not just going to say, oh, once I've done it once, I held it for 10 seconds, I'm going to call it a day. Nah, I want to be able to actually have it on lock, so that when I do it, I can consistently do it for at least above 10 seconds. I reckon that's like a good amount of time to be able to hold handstand for. So yeah, let's just run it up, man.
OT Beats.
So yeah, I'd like to say that I did it. I'd like to say that I did it and I can finally do a handstand. I still have a lot of adjustments to make and a lot of tweaks to make, but I feel like me humbling myself and going back to the start definitely allowed me to make more improvements, you know. When I'm holding it, I feel a little bit more confident. I'm happy with the progress I made, but obviously there's a lot more steps I'm going to be taking in the future. Just because I've done it now doesn't mean I'm going to stop practicing handstands, because it's like, generally it's a good exercise and it's just fun. I enjoy doing it. I'll transition into doing like push handstands, handstand push-ups, handstands on the bar, like on a set of parallel bars. I'll try and do all of that. But yeah, for now I had to start with the basics, go with that. Yeah man, I'm just happy, that's all it really is. I actually can't do any more training for a couple of days because I just got a new tat, so that kind of interferes with the training. But before I did that though, I've been doing the training enough to be satisfied with the progress that I've made. And you know, I'm gonna still continue to keep tweaking it and trying to actually perfect it and making little adjustments day by day. But so far I'm happy with my progress, and you know, like I said I would do it, and I did it. So yeah, with that being said, that's kind of it for this video, man. I hope you enjoyed the little journey that I had to do the handstand. If there's any other skills that I'm trying to do, then yeah, I'll record it, document it, see what's good. I'll do the research so that you guys don't have to. But yeah, sweet. Hasta luego.